One. There you go. Hey, everybody. We have an editorial to make. I apologize for the state of the studio behind me. We are it's a Sunday. We are just enjoying the snow that we have had. But this is a very serious editorial. It's been weighing on my mind for a while, and I'm not going to be interacting a whole lot with the chat room. So we cover the world of cleaner, greener, safer, and smarter vehicles, and we do our best to do that in as fair a way as possible. We try and make sure that we leave our own opinions at the door when we're reporting on news. Sometimes I do personally interject my own opinions, but I make it clear when I'm interjecting my own opinions. What I'm about to say, though, I know, for everybody on the Transport Evolved team, everybody on the staff of Transport Evolved. And I hope, although I'm not going to put words into your mouths, I hope I speak for many of you. We have been covering the EV world, as I realized on a Friday evening when I was working on TEN, Transport Evolved News. I realized that we have been working on that show now, coming up on 10 years. Our 10th anniversary, I think, in October. Hopefully, we'll make it to October. Never say never these days. But in that entire time, we have covered a whole range of different vehicles from a whole range of different manufacturers, from a whole range of different parts of the world, aimed at a whole range of different people. And one company that we've covered, I think probably more than any other, is Tesla. Tesla has been absolutely essential in the transition from fossil fuels to electric vehicles. I think it is fair to say that there is no path that I can think of right now were it not for Tesla that we would be where we are today. Now, that doesn't mean to say we wouldn't have electric vehicles, because I genuinely believe that we would still have electric vehicles, partly because someone else would have come along and stepped into Tesla's place, into that place that Tesla assumed in the marketplace. You know, that tech leader, the one that creates a product that is unlike anything else and encourages rivals to catch up. We've seen that throughout history, right? Throughout history, we've seen companies that have made a paradigm shift and made a change in the way that people view a particular product or a particular thing. Now, there are lots of things that Tesla could have done better. It could have focused on more affordable vehicles. It could have focused on making vehicles for everyone rather than vehicles for the higher end of the population. But we have what we have today, and other companies are coming in and filling in the gaps below. I think I've owned 15 different electric vehicles in the last 17 years, and not one of them have been made by Tesla. So, you know, I know that there are other manufacturers out there, and some of them were encouraged by Tesla's dominance and some were not. And the reason I'm saying all of this is Tesla is a very important company in the EV sector. Whether you like it or not, Tesla has done a lot in the EV world and in the EV sector. And so, as a company, a news organization, a YouTube channel, whatever you want to call us, it is hard for us to not cover Tesla. However, Edward, I'm not even going to respond to that comment. We would have, I think, without Tesla, we would have a lot of vehicles on the road. They would just be different. I think where we are now is because of where Tesla has brought us. But I think we would also have alternative electric vehicles. We may not have the same focus on high-end, high-tech, super expensive cars. We might have more affordable models, but we are where we are. And, I in part owe my job, my career, to the fact that people have purchased EVs partly because of the impact that Tesla has had on the world. And obviously, for more than a decade now, Elon Musk has been at the head of Tesla, and he has become increasingly controversial of late. We have spoken out on this channel before about Elon Musk's well-documented transphobia. As a channel with LGBTQ members of staff, we vehemently did not appreciate some of Elon Musk's open transphobia and his frankly terrible treatment of his trans daughter, who last year filed court papers. Said, "I don't want to have anything to do with my father. I want to change my name. Don't want his last name." We have been following this path as Elon Musk has become more and more extreme in his views, has courted more and more extreme opinions. And this past weekend, he has come out on Twitter stating that, quote, "the media is racist against whites and Asians." He did this, by the way, that was a quote from Elon Musk. He did this in an apparent defense of Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, the comic strip, who has for a long time expressed views that were racist, both nascently racist and openly racist. Dilbert is a comic that many of you, I'm sure, have enjoyed historically. But Adams in his Dilbert comics has, had that undertone of, at times, sexism, misogyny, and other undesirable things, and came out last week stating that white people should, quote, and again, I'm quoting him, I do not agree with what he said here, quote, "get the hell away from black people." He called black people a quote unquote hate group. And Elon Musk has not stated that he supports Adams. In fact, he didn't say really anything about Adams. But he also has gone around the houses and accused media of being racist. Now, this is a right-wing extremist talking point. It's all part of the white replacement theory ridiculousness that is being peddled on Fox News and other news outlets. And Elon Musk's stance is racist. There's no shades of gray here. Elon Musk has said something that is overtly racist. Now, as someone is pointing out in the chat room, Elon Musk did not found Tesla. He did not start Tesla. He acquired it. He became a co-founder of Tesla as the consequence of a court proceeding in which he won, and it was stated that he could be called a co-founder, but he was not in at the point where Tesla was originally founded. He injected cash. He was the company's biggest backer. That's how he got in the door. But Elon Musk and Tesla are joined at the hip. Elon Musk and Twitter are joined at the hip, obviously because Elon owns Twitter. And since his acquisition of Twitter, Elon Musk has become increasingly controversial on the platform. He has said increasingly horrendous things. And it is important for us right now, right here, as a channel that covers Tesla, to say we cover Tesla not because we support Elon Musk or Tesla, but because we support electric vehicles. However, we as a team cannot condone Elon Musk's recent behavior. We cannot condone his pushing towards quite extreme right talking points. We cannot condone his racism. We cannot condone his homophobia and transphobia that he has demonstrated in the past. It is not okay. And we strongly speak out against that kind of behavior. Does that mean we're going to stop reporting on Tesla? Unfortunately, no, because it is an important part of the industry. But I think it's important. We're trying to tread a very fine line here between Elon Musk, the billionaire, and Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and owner of Twitter and all these other companies. And we can say we do not support this. I think personally, it's time for Musk to be ousted at Tesla. This is my personal opinion, not the opinion of my teammates, although I'm sure my teammates may agree. I think it's time for Elon to go. I think he's going to do more damage to Tesla now than he can do good. There are plenty of other very intelligent, very driven and very smart people who could help Tesla into a better age. I believe that Elon Musk is now squarely into the danger zone for the company and could cause Tesla problems. And at a time when mainstream automakers are really ramping up on EVs, Tesla can't be doing with this nonsense. So I am speaking out against this. I am condemning his behavior and his comments. I am saying this is not okay. I also want to remind those of you who have attacked us in the comments when we have covered stories about racism at Tesla, alleged racism, and some of the mountains of evidence that have come in that back those allegations. We have been criticized for covering them because we, quote, are trying to kill Tesla or we're paid by big oil or some other nonsense, which isn't true. But we want to try and call truth where we see it and lies when we don't. And Elon is incorrect. The media is not biased against white people. That is a ridiculous assertion. It is the assertion of a person of questionable mind who is, I want to say, having a midlife crisis or is feeling some kind of anxiety about the world around him, whether it's stress, maybe he's just super stressed and this is stress manifesting as racism, but it's not okay. We are just, I know everybody on the team is just going to be disgusted by this. In fact, I know we've already had some conversations that the team has been disgusted by this. And we have directly, in our team, we have directly dealt with racism before. Now, this is also really important to note. The racism that we have had to deal with relates to Kate. I don't think she minds me saying that. And some of the stuff that people have called Kate for being a non-white person, a person of color, makes my skin crawl. And I think it's important to say that Elon is not a good person right now. He is being a terrible human being. If you feel that Elon is okay to say the things that he said that are overtly racist, feel free to unsubscribe. The button is down there, down below. This is not up for discussion. You can't pull First Amendment or argument here for free speech. You cannot use the First Amendment to excuse hate. That's not how it works. And it makes me so fucking angry when people do that. We can live in a good, kind, civilized society, and we can talk about differences. But there are some things that are non-negotiable. Hating on someone because of the color of their skin is non-negotiable. That is not a thing that it's okay to do. It is abhorrent. Racism is abhorrent. Xenophobia is abhorrent. And as the daughter of an immigrant who was bullied because she came from a different place and had a different accent, for those who don't know, my mum is Canadian, who herself became an immigrant and has been given a lot of crap online for being an immigrant. That is, again, not an okay thing to do. Same thing for someone who is gay, or someone who is has a sexuality that's different to yours, or who has a gender expression that's different to yours. It's not okay to hate on those people. And it is important, I think, for the EV world. Sorry, I just knocked a keyboard on the floor. It is important for the EV world to speak out when we see someone like Elon Musk, who is at the forefront of the EV world, behave like this and say, no, you're off your rocker. This is not okay. This is not cool. You are being a dick. I'm calling Elon a dick. And he can quote me. Does that mean I'm not going to cover Tesla? No, of course, we'll carry on covering Tesla. Doesn't mean that I have to support what Elon Musk is doing right now. It is wrong. It is wrong. And I am speechless. I am speechless. If you cannot see it in your heart to examine how you live your life, and if you cannot be intentional in your existence and the way you treat other people, you have no place in civilized society. Everybody owes it to every single other person on this planet to be kind, to accept that their experiences are different, but that any discrimination based on the color of someone's skin, their religion, their country of origin, who they love, or who they are is wrong. That is not up for discussion. And Elon Musk is a racist. Until he proves otherwise, he is a racist. Can racists change? Absolutely. It is possible to go from being a racist to an anti-racist, but that takes work. It takes hard work. We all need to be anti-racist. And if you haven't looked at the concept of anti-racism, I strongly suggest you do. We need more allies in the world, less hate. I could not support Tesla right now as a customer. And those of you who know, I live out in the country and I have Starlink, and we tried to cut our Starlink earlier this year. We actually cancelled our service and we disconnected the satellite and we tried to live without it. Unfortunately, when we have storms like we have now, we've got over a foot of snow on the ground. Our local Wi-Fi internet down the valley craps out. And so Starlink is our only connection. And so we've still had to keep our Starlink, because without Starlink, Transport Evolved would struggle in its current form, in its current location. And frankly, we don't earn enough money to be able to afford to pay everybody and have a studio in where we used to. We used to have a studio and we got rid of it because paying people is more important than having a studio. But, you know, if I've already said on Mastodon today, hey, if anyone has an alternative, I'd love to hear from you. The company that provides our local Wi-Fi has told us that we could, for probably about $10,000, we could set up a dedicated service down the village, down to them, that we could then use as a commercial, like 1 gigabit per second, but we can't afford that. So anyway, I personally detest giving Starlink money. As soon as I can, I will be getting rid of it. And look, we have to be better. We have to be better. And I know there'll be people in the comments going, yeah, but all these other car companies have had racist problems as well. Yes, they have. And we have to fight racism at every turn. We have to fight homophobia and transphobia at every turn. We have to be better. As someone whose rights and privileges are being eroded at a pretty fair clip now in the United States and the UK, and if, depending on who the new leader of Scotland is, possibly in Scotland as well, I have to say that you have to stand with people who are being oppressed and being treated badly, because if you do not, they will come for you and they'll come for the next people after you. It might start with racism. It might start with people attempting to make racism okay by claiming that it's some kind of woke liberal mind virus or some inherent racism against white people. But that's not how it works. Just like you cannot say that it's okay to be homophobic or transphobic. It's not. None of those things are okay. And so we can say without a shadow of doubt that Elon Musk's comments are not okay. And if you think that they were, you're watching the wrong channel. And I'm aware that this could probably kill Transport Evolved. I've been becoming very frustrated and disenfranchised with the whole EV world lately and the whole YouTube world. But I will not let this happen. Unsubscribing, you're just out of your mind. Fine, John, you can fuck off. I don't care. Racism is not okay. And I will stand here and I will say this again and again and again. And if I have to drop F-bombs, I will. Nobody else in our sector will say what we are saying right now, but it is not okay to be racist. And if you are choosing to spend a large amount of your savings on a car from a company whose CEO is doing this kind of stuff, you have to ask yourself, what is the line that you will cross? If you're happy giving your money to someone who has expressed racist views, what is the line that you will cross? At what point is your stop point? At what point do you go, At what point do you go, I'm not taking any more? Bye, John. Yeah, you keep commenting. You can just go. It's totally fine. By the way, woke was actually originally a black a term coined by people in the black community, black and African American community, people of color, who used it to describe that that they are aware and cognizant and vigilant against white racism. So, sorry, racism by white people against black people. So, if you're anti-woke, does that mean you're racist? You have to ask yourself that question. So there you have it. I'm not taking it. I'm not allowing it to happen. People are valid. Oppressing someone because of the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their identity, their religion, their country of origin is not okay in any stretch of the imagination. And you know what? If I come across, if Mary Barra came out tomorrow with a homophobic or a transphobic or a racist statement, I would say something. If Jim Farley did it, I would say something. Be an anti-racist, be an anti-homophobe, be an anti-transphobe. And think very hard about where you spend your money on your next electric car. Because I personally will not be spending any money that I absolutely do not have to on products that are owned by someone who is being a racist. It's no black or white. There's no, he didn't mean that. There's no, oh, he's autistic. None of that is okay. That is making excuses and making, it's not okay. Simple. And I know that we're going to lose subscribers over this. Every time I talk about anything and people say, you're being political, I'm unsubscribing. You own a Ford, Henry Ford. Yes, I do own a Ford. But Ford's dead. Henry Ford is dead. Do you not buy Japanese products? Do you not buy German products? Where does that line lie in the sand for you? We have to make the decisions we make using the best possible choices available to us. And we have to be proactive. And we have to be careful in our choices. I choose to spend my money as carefully as I possibly can, trying to buy and patronize companies that do things that I want to see in the world. So Elon Musk speaking out and saying, hey, I support this guy's opinion, and he didn't say it in as many words, but stating that the media is anti-white and anti-Asian is ridiculous. And we have to be cognizant of that, all of that. It's like buying Chinese products. Are you okay buying a Chinese product? Do you want to campaign against the PRC and some of the horrible things it's been doing to racial groups in China? I don't. Sometimes we do end up having to work with a Chinese company. Sometimes I buy products that are Chinese. But we have to be intentional in our actions, and we have to think about this. I don't see this racism in America. If you don't see racism in America, Edward, then you're not looking. It's there. And it's everywhere you look. It's our job to fight against it. From our language choices to uh, our decisions. As Andy says, woke has become a term used by people aware that their beliefs and actions are unethical and don't want you to make them feel bad by behaving ethically or asking them to, I would add, Andy. The media is not anti-white. Maybe this is my goodbye. Just because you are not impacted by something does not mean it's there, and that is very true. When I started EVs, I jumped on board because I was very, very badly impacted by climate change when I was a kid. I moved from a really beautiful, bucolic setting, very, very rural for the UK, where I lived for the first 11 years of my life, and I moved to a different part of the world, or a different part of the UK, and I moved to a place where life was not anywhere as beautiful and wonderful as it was when I was a kid in that first place I lived. It was after the move that I ended up being sexually assaulted by someone, groomed effectively, sexually assaulted by someone. It was where I was really badly bullied at school. And so I became very acutely aware of the world around me and our actions and the consequences they have on the world. And that's why I got into electric vehicles, because I realized that had it not been for that massive flood, which was caused by anthropogenic climate change, we would not have moved from where we first lived. And that has become a bit of a driving force to be better, to be a good person. It's always been my goal, right? I want to make the world a better place, and that's why I got into electric vehicles. Now, electric vehicles are not like this magic pill. There are ethical concerns about electric vehicles. It's why we talk so much on this channel about affordability and intersectionality and being able to make sure that everybody has access to EVs, not just wealthy people. And in the words of my DP this week, electric cars are still for wealthy people, and it disgusts him and it disgusts me. And we need better solutions. And yes, and sorry, it started snowing again, which is very beautiful. It's very kind of calming based on everything else that's going on today. We need to be better humans. And in order for us to be better humans, we have to acknowledge the shit that we're not doing right. Whether that is all of the aluminium that's going up into the atmosphere, someone said, 29 tons of aluminium in the atmosphere each day. I don't know where you got that figure from, and I haven't fact checked it, but okay. And that's not cool. We need to be kind to one another. And Dave's too. You've clearly got a lot on your mind. Take some time to process it. No, I'm saying, look, it's already started, right? It's already started. We cannot allow behavior like Elon Musk has demonstrated this weekend to be normalized, to be accepted, to be okay. We will never make society better if we say, when someone does something bad, oh yeah, but they created this really cool company and look at all the good they're doing. No, we need to be grown up and responsible and accept our actions. I dropped an F-bomb at someone earlier on today. I fully accept that I did that on this stream. I fully accept that I did that, and I thought carefully about it before, after. I'm still thinking about it. We need to be better than angry. I always hope that Transport Evolved will aim to be better. We call out when we think something bad is happening, and we try and promote good when we see it. It's possible for a good company to do bad things. It's possible for a bad company to do good things. An entire company is not bad because of its CEO or its leadership. But when that leadership, when that CEO is going to benefit from your custom, then yes, you have to think about all of it. You have to think about where your money is going and what choices you make and how to be proactive and how to be an anti-racist, how to be an anti-transphobe, how to be an anti-homophobe. These are all things that we need to live on a daily basis. And I get it wrong sometimes. I sometimes pull myself up and go, hey, that thing you just said, that was a bit racist. Maybe you should rethink your language. Maybe that phrase you used earlier was ableist. Maybe you need to think about where that phrasing comes from. Where do you want your conversation to go? Can you choose a better word? Can you rephrase that? Can you make that kinder? This is the conversation we need to do. I'm going to stop now because I can see that some of you are getting upset. Just remember that your choices as a consumer have actions. And Topeka, I hope I said that correctly. Am I for or against Elon Musk if he's right or wrong is the question. I believe Elon Musk is wrong here. He is being racist. He is not a good man right now. He can be a good man again. I'm sure he's had moments in the past. I'm not overreacting. This is the point though, John. If someone doesn't stand up and say this is wrong, then we tacitly say it's okay. It's like that famous poem about they came for. That long list. They came for the Jews. But I wasn't Jewish. We can't go down that road. We have to stop at the crossroads and say, no, that road's not safe. We're not going down that road. We have to be better. All right, guys. Keep evolving.